Hi guys, welcome back to Football Heaven 24/7. I'm your host Jamie Carter. I'm just going to do the weekend's action. Obviously from going from the 2nd of September through to the 4th of September 2022. So we're going to go straight into the Premier League. In the Premier League, there was a couple of shocks this weekend so far. So we'll go through it all anyway. In the evening kickoff on Saturday night, just yesterday night. It was Aston Villa up against Manchester City. Now, Manchester City had just smashed Forest, my team, 6-0. Haaland had scored a hat trick. He'd also scored a hat trick in the previous game, beating Palace 4-2. So a lot of Villa fans could have been worried. Aston Villa, there was talk of Gerrard. Will he get more time? He probably will because he's a big name manager. Well, big name former player, should I say. Um, but obviously he's been given the time. Villa played magnificently. They rode the luck quite a lot in the game. Manchester City could have had more goals. Haaland gave him the lead on the 50th minute, and Leon Bailey, who signed from Bayer Leverkusen last season, equalised for Villa in the 74th minute. So the game finished 1-1. A bit of a shot there. I expected Manchester City to win that 1-3 or 4-1, but Villa managed to get a point from that. So that's helping them in their battle to avoid relegation as it currently lies. But to be fair, we're only sort of 6 games into the season, so it doesn't really count for too much at the moment. Um, then at Brentford were playing at home to Leeds United. They had a fantastic result. They won 5-2. A hat trick from Tony, who boasted on Twitter that people should have kept him in their dream teams, in their fantasy football teams, as he's starting to produce results now. So yeah, Tony's third top goal scorer in the Premier League with 5 goals. Haaland still leads the way with 10 goals after his goal against Villa. But as I say, Brentford won 5-2 against Leeds United. Hat trick from Tony, goals from Abremo and Vissa for Brentford, and goals for Sinistera and Rocha for Leeds United. But Leeds they were 2-1 down at half time, but they got absolutely smashed in the second half. And like I say, Brentford finished 5-2 winners. Brentford are currently lying in 7th place in the league, so they've had a great start to the season. Obviously, they're not going to be in a danger of getting relegated this season. I'm definitely sure of that. Then there was a bit of controversy between the London derby between Chelsea and West Ham. Cornet it looked like he'd equalised in the game towards the very, very end in the 90 minute, but it was ruled out for a supposed foul. But it wasn't a foul. The player was running in to try and impact the game. He tried to jump out of the way of the keeper, but one of his feet hit the goalkeeper in his chest, and they ruled that as a foul. So I mean, it's getting insane. VAR is good in some ways, but it's not really. Most of the time, that this is still open to interpretation, and the interpretation of people is never 100% accurate with these kind of things. So don't know. Not saying I could do a better job, but I'm just saying let's get VAR out. I think we should campaign to get VAR out because it's absolutely destroying the game a lot. It wastes a lot of time and it messes a lot of fans about. It also stops the conversations after the game, that you used to have, about whether it was a goal or not, whether that was a foul or not, that kind of thing. So, anyway, we'll go straight into the next game. As I say, Chelsea ended up winning 2-1 winners in that game against West Ham. Goal from Chilwell after Antonio put West Ham 1-0 up, equalised it, and Havertz got the winning goal, ultimately the winning goal. West Ham were robbed a bit, to be fair, but as I say, Chelsea win 2-1 in that game. So that pushed Chelsea a bit further up the table. Chelsea are just lying now in 5th place in the league. They could be overtaken tonight by Manchester United, who are currently 1-0 up against Arsenal. A goal from Anthony on his debut, the 84.5 million signing from Ajax. He went straight into the team today. Obviously, I'll give an update in the week on the Manchester United score for those of you that don't get access to that. But currently, they're 1-0 in the lead. So going into more important, well, quite an important game, Merseyside derby, what they call the friendly derby. As we know, Everton and Liverpool, they are the second shortest rivals apart. If you're including Notts County and Nottingham Forest, who are the closest rivals geographically as far as their stadiums. This game, though, it proved a bit of a damp squib. It was basically ended up in a 0-0 draw. Same with Newcastle and Crystal Palace. Newcastle huffed and puffed a little bit. Isaac, their new signing from Real Sociedad, although he got on the score sheet against Liverpool in midweek, he wasn't able to affect the game ultimately, despite some chances. And that finished 0-0 for Newcastle there. Forest, my team, had an absolute shocker, really. First half was fantastic. Beautiful header from a corner from Kiate and a penalty for Johnson. Put Forest 2-0 up at half time. But Gary O'Neill, the interim manager for Bournemouth at the moment until they find a new manager, stamped his claim for the permanent manager's job by coming back in the second half. An absolute screamer from Billing from 30 yards. Solanke equalised for Bournemouth. And then 3 minutes from the end, Jaden Anthony, who come on as a substitute, a youngster for Bournemouth, got the winner to make it 3-2 to Bournemouth. So obviously I was gutted, but it's early on in the season. We're only six games into the season, so it's very, even though Forest are now in the relegation zone with West Ham and Leicester City, who earlier today lost 5-2 to Brighton. 2 goals from McAllister and other guys that scored in the game made it 5-2. Patson Daka and Iheanacho got on the score sheet. Iheanacho scored actually first in the game. So Leicester, they're rock bottom with 1 point. Then it's Forest with 4. Then you've got West Ham with 4 points. Then you've got Villa with 4 and Everton with 4 as well. Only separated, obviously, all those teams by goal difference. Going back to the Premier League games, Tottenham won 2-1 on Saturday. Pierre Holberg scored and Harry Kane. But there was an equaliser from Mitrovic for Fulham. But it wasn't enough, as I say, Kane got the winning goal. And Tottenham won 2-1 in that game. Then it was Wolves against Southampton. Wolves had been showing promise over the last 5 games, but not getting the 3 points. They finally got their first 3 points of the season, thanks to a goal from Podence on the 45th minute, which allowed them to beat Southampton 1-0. Southampton obviously had a great start to the season by their standards, but now they're in the bottom half of the table after that defeat. So the top of the table at the moment reads Arsenal at the top with 15 points. Then you've got Manchester City with 14, Tottenham with 14, and today Brighton won, so that puts Brighton in 4th with 13 points. And then you've got Chelsea just outside with 5. In the relegation zone, as I say, it's West Ham, Forest, and Leicester City at the moment. So early days, like I say, Arsenal 1-0 down against Manchester United at the moment. Goal from Anthony. Going into the Championship, Blackburn lost 3-2 at home to Bristol City. Conway is doing absolutely fantastic. The youngster who's come through the youth system at Bristol City is doing fantastic for Bristol City at the moment. He is on 4 goals this season, but he's been very, very consistent when you think a young player coming in for his first full season where he's getting put in the team from the start quite a lot. He's doing really impressive stuff. Naki Wells got 2 more goals for Bristol City. Goals from Dolan and Brereton were just not enough. Blackburn Rovers on a bit of a slide after a great start to the season. Bristol City now up to 3rd in the league. Blackburn have dropped down to 6th after that game. So anyway, going into the next game, Luton were playing up against Wigan Athletic. Luton, they had a fantastic season last season, as we know, finishing the playoffs, but they were able to win this game. They lost 2-1 to Wigan Athletic. So Wigan have had not a bad start to the season. They're in mid-table area and doing quite well. Then it was Millwall against Cardiff. Cardiff have slipped a little bit after showing a bit of promise at the start of the season in the first few games, but they lost 2-0. Goals from Cresswell and Afobe sealed it for Millwall on the day. And then going into Norwich against Coventry City. Obviously, Coventry City haven't played a few home games because of a problem with their pitch. I don't know if they're going to get fined on that. I still haven't found out if anything's happening with that. If anyone else knows better, any Coventry fans, you can let me know in the comments. But anyway, they got smashed 3-0 by Norwich. Pookie scored, Sargent scored, and Dowell scored for Norwich. Norwich go top of the table. Well, they were top of the table on Saturday, but Sheffield United have won today 2-0 away at Hull City. So that's put Sheffield United at the top. So obviously it's Sheffield United at the top, Norwich in second, and then you've got Bristol City, Burnley, Watford, and Blackburn in the playoff places. Blackpool also won today, 1-0 away at Huddersfield. So that moved Blackpool further up the table, away from the relegation zone. They're now in the top half of the table as well. So yeah, great results for those teams today. Um, Also, Reading won 2-1 at home to Stoke City, which pushes Reading further up the table, and they're now lying in third place, I believe. Yeah, third place. So in the table, so they're doing well. Actually, Bristol City are now fourth. They were third on Saturday, so been a bit of a jumble around because there was 3 games played on a Sunday. So still looking good. I think Norwich look like they're going to be going back up again, even though it's early days. But going into the other Championship games, there was 3 more left. Well, 4 more to look through. Preston lost 1-0 to Birmingham. Goal from Colin. Rotherham continued their good start to the season after promotion from League One, drawing 1-1. Goal from Wood and a goal from Bayo for Huddersfield made it 1-1. Swansea City got back on track with a 1-0 win at home to QPR. And West Brom and Burnley drew 1-1 on the Friday night game. A goal in the 98th minute as an equaliser for West Brom there. So Burnley got a bit gutted there because Burnley won a good run. But we know what the Championship's like. Anyone can beat anyone or get points of anyone. So looking at the top of the leaderboard, Estupiñán for Hull City. Obviously, Hull were in action today but lost 2-0 to Sheffield United. He's still the top goal scorer for the Championship with 7 goals. And then you've got Josh Sargent of Norwich City in second with 5 goals. So, and also Ross Stewart for Sunderland. So yeah, that's what's going on in the Championship at the moment. As I say, Norwich are top. Then you've got Sheffield United. Sheffield United are top, Norwich, and then you've got Reading in third there. So great start to the season. Most notably for Reading in the league, Paul Ince is doing a fantastic job at the moment for Reading. But anyway, we'll nip into League One now. We've got League One and League Two to finish off. So going into League Two, Ipswich Town were away at Accrington Stanley. Their manager said that they had to win at places like Accrington, which is a tough ground to play at. Accrington now established League One team after 3 seasons in the league, looking like a really, really good team. So, but they lost 2-0 in the end to goals from Chaplin and Burns for Ipswich Town, which puts Ipswich top of the table in League One. I did a prediction at the start of the season. I reckon Derby and Ipswich were going to be going up automatically. So far, I've got Ipswich right. Derby a little bit further down after they lost 3-2 to Plymouth at the weekend. Bolton won 3-1 against Charlton. That keeps their promotion push going, or that they're trying to fight for the playoffs. Bristol Rovers drew 2-2 with Morecambe. Cambridge beat Lincoln City 2-0. Exeter City won 1-0 against MK Dons as they have had quite a good start to the season. Fleetwood Town drew 1-0 with Wickham. Forest Green lost to Shrewsbury 2-0, kind of a localish derby there. Well, not really local, not too far away. Oxford beat Burton Albion 2-1. Port Vale drew 2-0 with Cheltenham. And Portsmouth won 2-1 in their top of the table clash against Peterborough. And Sheffield Wednesday, who are also challenging to get automatic promotion, they lost in the Yorkshire Derby at home to Barnsley 2-0. So Barnsley got back on track. All it means is at the top of the table, Ipswich are top. You've got Portsmouth lying in second. And in the playoff areas, you've got Plymouth, Sheffield Wednesday, Cambridge United, who have had a great start to the season, proving a bit of a surprise package at the moment. Also, Exeter are just outside the playoffs in 7th. And you've got Peterborough in that 6th place. And as I said earlier, Bolton and Derby are challenging also at the top there. So it's getting closer. Clark Harris is still the top goal scorer in the league with 5 goals for Peterborough. In the relegation zone, you've got Cheltenham, Morecambe, Forest Green, and Burton Albion in League One. So that's how it's looking in League One at the moment. Early days, as I say, only 7 games in with a lot of the Championship League One, and obviously League Two that I'm about to do, and obviously Premier League. They're 1 game behind because they play less games in the season anyway. So we're going to jump into League Two, and League Two at the top of the table, Leyton Orient are still leading the way. They're absolutely caning at the moment. Had a fantastic 2-0 win at home to Tranmere Rovers. An own goal from one of the Tranmere players and a goal from Smythe, who's one of the front 3 for Leyton Orient, gave them the win, and that makes them sit pretty at the top, 3 points clear of Stevenage, who have had a great start to the season. At the start of the season, I predicted, because Stevenage had a really poor season last season, that they would be down near the relegation zone. And I also predicted that Barrow would be, but Barrow are actually sitting in 3rd in League Two as well. So in the playoff areas, you've got Salford City, Norwich City, Northampton Town, even what I'm on about, Doncaster Rovers, who had just come down from League One last season, and you've got Mansfield in there. Down the relegation spots, it's Hartlepool and Rochdale. So I'll just run through all the results from League Two. Bradford City won 2-1 against Walsall. Carlisle had a thrilling 3-3 draw against Rochdale. Colchester drew 1-1 with Hartlepool. Crewe lost 2-1 at home to Stevenage. Obviously, Stevenage are up in second, as I say. Doncaster lost 3-1 at home to Mansfield Town. Gillingham drew 0-0 with Swindon Town. Newport lost 2-0 at home to Grimsby, which puts Grimsby in ninth, just outside the playoffs. Northampton Town won 3-1 against Barrow. And then you've got Salford City drawing 2-2 with Crawley Town, who obviously Salford are in the playoffs as well at the moment. Stockport getting back into the swing of things after a slow start to the season with a good 1-0 win at home to AFC Wimbledon. And then you've got Sutton United beating Harrogate Town 2-1. So that's how it looks. As I say, the top three is Leyton Orient, Stevenage and Barrow. And the top goal scorer at the moment with 8 goals, having a really good start to the season, is Sam Hoskins for Northampton Town. So great start for a lot of teams. That's obviously my preview of the weekend. What I'll be doing tomorrow, I'll be doing predictions of the fixtures ahead for the week. There's a lot of European games being played. It's the start of the Champions League. It's also the start of the Europa League and the Europa Conference League. Plus, I think there's some EFL Cup games and there's a Championship game on Monday night. So I'll run through all that tomorrow in an episode. This has been Football Heaven 24/7. Continue to like and subscribe. It's under footynut.at. That's my channel if you want to get hold of anything. There's going to be more content coming out. I don't just do predictions and reviews of the weekend or previews of the coming week. I also do talking about teams' histories from the past as well. So if you're interested in that, like I say, get friends and family involved, like and subscribe. I had a lot of great support on some of the videos, been brilliant. And have a great week, whoever your team is. I hope they have another great week next week. And all the best. Bye for now.